Miscarriage of justice. Ref was on tape. There's nothing worse than a ref on the tape. Nothing.
There's nothing worse than losing, than not being invited to be a guest on the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, Wrestle Geeks? Big Mike here with another edition of the Countdown City WrestleCast. With me, as always, we got Tommy.
Hello.
And as you may have noticed, our normal host, JC, is not here today. But that is because it is a special day. His daughter's birthday is today. So he is celebrating, and I'm sure spoiling her, as she well deserves. So,
Awesome.
no JC for tonight. Yeah. But we will venture on anyways with the WrestleCast. So thanks for joining us, guys. We do appreciate it. As always, follow us on all our socials, CCG WrestleCast on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Countdown City WrestleCast on Instagram, and our Facebook page, which we're trying to get up and going. So yeah. What is up, Angel? Good to see you.
Hey. Look, dude, I was already running late. I have no time to set up all my lights and everything. This is the best I could do.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead and admit it. I don't know if there was an agenda today, because I didn't print it out because there wasn't really a lot of big wrestling news and shows to cover. What we really wanted to talk about today was our past weekend at NostalgiaCon.
Oof,
and then the upcoming United 210 shows and hybrid shows down in Lytle. So that's really what we'll be talking about today. So it's just me and Tommy here, and we were there. Jason, you were there, and all of hybrid pretty much was there. So
yeah, more or less.
Tommy, NostalgiaCon, what do you want to say about it?
That weekend was insane. I'm still recovering because I'm still so very tired. Hey, Sean, what's up?
Hey, Sean.
I slept all day Monday, and I'm not even kidding. I think I woke up around 1 for about 2 hours and went back to sleep, and didn't get up again till 6.
Damn.
I'll put it this way. I slept so much, I was dehydrated when I woke up. And I didn't know I was dehydrated until I drank some water. And I was like, oh, that's why I feel like crap. My body has like literally run out of liquid. Okay, that explains a lot. So I've been sucking down water for the past 4 days.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Same here. Well, let's kind of get started reviewing NostalgiaCon. We got there bright and early Friday morning. Con was getting set up. One of the first things we did, Sean has a question. Yeah, Jason, we all are recovering.
Yeah.
Sean, go ahead and throw your question in the chat. We'll get to you in a minute. One of the first things we did kind of right off the bat before things really got started is we had makeup artist and cosplayer Cassie Moon interviewing Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
which you can see now on the YouTube Countdown City Geeks, where all the WrestleCast videos are, the one you're watching right now.
Yeah.
So that was really cool because Cassie is an incredible artist.
Yeah.
And she put, she did the half kind of Day of the Dead mask. I forgot exactly what she calls it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not the best Mexican. I do apologize. But she did it really quickly, and it was really cool. And well, at the moment, both of us have our fathers.
Yeah, I don't want to do that to my dad because my dad. I love my dad,
and nothing against Canadians, but
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. I don't know any other Christians offhand, but
yeah. So yeah.
but yeah, so she did a little interview talking with her. She did her half face paint really quickly. Like even if you watch the interview, Thunder Rosa was really amazed at how well and how quickly she did it. But just the sweetest person, and kind of cool to hear a little bit about Thunder Rosa. I know Thunder Rosa has done interviews several times throughout the years, but touched briefly on Lucha Underground. Touched briefly on where Thunder Rosa kind of the name comes from and what she did. So really cool to start. Oh, well, those are two different
Oh
people.
yeah,
Bob.
that okay, that Christian. Oh, no, I still
I
love
think
my dad, so no, I don't want to know. Okay.
I guess you're referring to the liner in that little video we cut when we were
Yeah.
matches all weekend. It is an oversight on our part. And honestly, there is a list of people we have from Hybrid that we want to get on. We actually have two more interviews coming out probably tomorrow, two small ones with some Hybrid talent. And as a little teaser, there is a Texas treat, a member of the Texas Treats on the interview, but I won't specify which. It could be Don Juan, could be another member. But you'll see that tomorrow. And please, when y'all see the thumbnail for the YouTube video, leave all the comments because I'm pretty proud of that one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I already know who the guest is, and I don't care.
Yeah, but Friday we we did that. There were some panels going on, pretty quickly off the bat. But then the wrestling started, and let's just be honest, the wrestling was a huge draw all weekend during NostalgiaCon.
Yeah, so it's one thing to say, oh, there was there was like some of the people, stop by every now and again to watch the wrestling matches. That's not what happened this weekend. What happened this weekend was people gathered to watch it. They stopped what they were doing, and I'm not just talking the fans. I'm talking guests, as in people who had tables, people who were making money, people who were having people paid to come watch them. Stop what they were doing to come watch the wrestling, to come watch Hybrid just kind of take over. Jason just said some people didn't know there was wrestling at the con, and I'm not surprised because it wasn't the most announced thing. So I'm sure a lot of people were surprised to see that. But that
we
being
tried our
said,
best.
say again, yeah, I mean we tried our best, and the Nostalgia did announce it a lot. I think people were so focused. Like I'll put it this way: for certain cons, if I'm looking forward to meeting a single person, I don't know who else is there. I'll give you the best example. When me and my friends met Jason David Frank and Stan Lee in Austin about 7 years ago now, maybe 10. Oh, that might have been 10 years ago. I think about it. We completely forgot who else was there. Like I met Michael Rooker, Kelly Hugh, Sarah Jean Underwood, and somebody else that same weekend. But all I remember seeing, but I forgot they were even supposed to be there because all I cared about was Stan Lee and James David Frank. It's one of those kinds of things where it's like you're there and you're like, oh shoot, something else awesome is happening while we're here. So that was the cool thing. I think a lot of people were just more curious than anything. But hey, curiosity, man. Who cares as long as they're over there?
Yeah. In fact, that first day we had matches on Friday. Jason Marsden, right? Jason
Marsden, yep.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, he was the voice of Richie and Static Shock and a ton of other voice work all throughout his career. It's a great.
So guy. Super cool, and I think that's why most of the people there know him. But honestly, for me, it was Eric Matthews' best friend before they turned him dumb on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
He was on that show for the first couple of seasons, and then that Boy Meets World kind of changed things up, and he kind of.
Can you see this? Or
yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know who has the footage. It's on probably some of the Hybrid people's social media. Oh, not that.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. But he was literally at one of the first matches on Friday there, kind of ringside.
Yeah, and he was on the first match on Friday. I think he stopped by Saturday too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think I have it somewhere recorded. I gotta go back and check.
Okay, hold on. Sean wins the comments already. Love this. Don't you means plays with squirrels? Yes.
As much as I love Boy Meets World, I hated that name so much. But yes, plays with squirrels.
Remember, lose one friend, lose all
yourself.
friends,
Lose
yourself.
I will admit this: that proverb has a lot of weight to it to this day for me. So I ain't gonna lie. So okay,
I have a niche. Okay, let's not get started in quoting Boy Meets World. But anyways,
Feed it.
So that for, and let's be honest, we're talking about the wrestling portion of things. So that Friday they had 3 matches. They had Jesse James versus the debuting Armani Sage.
Oh, I'm glad you have the list in front of you because I can't remember
Oh,
a
I do.
damn match that happened. Okay.
No, I remember them all, but I do have the list in front of me. And
Okay,
for those
good.
of you who don't know Armani Sage, but you've been at hybrid shows, formerly Towboy number 2, has been ring announcing the last couple shows, and was able to make his debut match. That was pretty cool for him.
Yeah.
Second match was KZ Blackrose versus Animo, which was another great match. Animo is, I mean, I don't want to be generic with it and say he's got that Rey Mysterio kind of thing going on, but like an underdog, not not huge, but has the fight.
Yeah,
has
I was
the
gonna
moves,
say.
can rock the bigger guys.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like yeah, you don't want to like be cliche with it, but it kind of fits though, so it's not really bad.
Right. And then the main event of Friday was Devin Carter versus Don Fernando for Devin Carter's RCW Future Legends Championship.
Yep.
And let's just say, you said it, Don Fernando probably biggest heel of the weekend.
Yeah, I think he absolutely just kind of was like determined to have everyone hate him before that weekend was over, and he more or less succeeded.
Yeah, he had that crowd pretty angry with him. Devin was kind of an all-star, one of the all-stars of the weekend.
Yeah, for sure, hands down, he was.
Had matches all 3 days. We'll get to that a little bit later. But a really fun start for that Friday show. Also, the SA Live from KSAT showed up and did some stuff with them. Izzy was there. There was a brouhaha in the ring, if you will, which I think if you follow hybrid social medias or KSAT Live, you've seen that over the weekend.
Yeah.
So Friday was a pretty cool day. Did you have a panel on Friday?
Yes, I had. Oh, that's right. I had 2. Man, dude, I'm blanking. So I had 2. I had I had later in the day was the Super Mario panel with the voices of Bowser and
that's right.
Peach and Toad. And earlier in the day was I hosted the panel with Thunder Rosa and Rikishi.
Of course, yeah.
And just real quick, let me just say, do not ever ask Rikishi a question you don't want him to answer. So if you're like on the fence about if you want him to be honest, don't ask him because he don't give a damn.
Look,
and damn is the nicer word I could use in that moment.
I don't want to be too mean. There was, and Jason knows what I'm talking about. There was a person there who showed up to every panel, no matter what it was. Was determined to ask a question at every panel. We started off Friday with Kenobi's Bunker running the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles voice actor panel. Not from the original 80s, 90s cartoon, but I believe around the 2003 variation.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite incarnations of the series is the 2003 one, and it was a really good series.
Yeah, and it probably is. I'm just one of those guys that original thing was such a huge part of my childhood. It's really hard for me to try and watch any other versions. I'm not saying they're not good, but like that's what it always takes me.
Before you go on, because I feel the same way, but the reason I gave that one a shot was because I hadn't seen anything Ninja Turtles in so long. I was looking forward to it because I grew up on the 80s one too. I remember having the VHSs and stuff, so I was so looking. But when the 2003 one came along, it had been so long since I watched an animated Ninja Turtles series. That was very interesting, and it did a good job being its own thing. I'll just put it that way. Like, it didn't try to copy or like just try to redo that original cartoon. It did a really good job of doing its own thing, while also kind of being like the '80s one with a mix of the old black and white comic books, which I think they pulled off pretty well. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, Shad, he was. We'll mention that a little bit later.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. He had trouble.
Yeah. So, anyways, the panel was for them. This guy gets up and asks questions about Yu-Gi-Oh! Because several of these people, as you know, do voices for tons of cartoons. And I think like 2 of them did Yu-Gi-Oh! So at the Turtles panel, asking questions about Yu-Gi-Oh! So right off the bat, we were like, okay. And the thing was like Kenobi's Bunkers running the panel. We were trying to help with the mic and camera stuff for us. So yeah, so that we were kind of like, come on, man. Okay, now go to Tommy's Thunder Rosa and Rikishi panel, which, by the way, if you want to see 2 people who are just going to be honest and tell you straight, it is these 2. And I mean that in the best, most complimentary way. They're not BSing you. They're not blowing smoke up your butt. They're straight up and honest. And
but see, with Thunder, I think she approaches it a little nicer, though. Rikishi just said,
"Yes, no. I get what you're saying, but in the end, like they're both straight shooters.
Yeah, they are.
And
for sure.
We have footage of that. I don't know if we're going to release that at some point, but it was really fun. But the reason I come back to this is that same fan who asked Yu-Gi-Oh! Questions at the Ninja Turtles, again, just seemed determined that he needed to ask questions at every panel. First thing he asked to Rikishi, is The Rock your cousin? Are you related to The Rock?
Would you believe I blocked that question out of my brain that I legitimately forgot he ever
asked
that?
And we all, and Rikishi just, I will say Rikishi tried to restrain himself from being more brutal and literally was just like, have you been watching TV for the last 2 years? And then the guy admitted he hadn't watched wrestling in a while. So we were like, why are you asking? Anyways, so, and again, you know, I don't know who he was. We won't name names, but he was there all weekend. And there was, you know, it's a con. There's a great mix of people. Yeah, Rikishi was awesome. He was super cool. And, you know, going back to the matches, when you said people were getting involved, it actually set up kind of cool because there was a line of celebrities and then the ring was right in front of them. And Rikishi had a great view of the ring too. Thanks for joining us, David. We do appreciate that. He did it for The Rock.
He did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
And as I think if you kind of see from what he talks about, you know, he pretty much do just about anything, you know, to help his family and you know, make some money, keep them fed and stuff. And a really good question that I had wanted to ask, and I'm glad someone did. They asked him about that 6-pack challenge, Hell in a Cell bump he took off the top. And he gets pretty real about it. I think I had heard this online in a clip somewhere, but he talked about it again. That I mean, honestly, it almost cost him his marriage because he didn't tell his wife he was going to take the bump, and she got pretty pissed when he got back home. So, again, just real talk. He ain't gonna sugarcoat stuff. He's gonna be honest with you, and he was praising, rightfully so, his sons, the bloodline, you know, the Samoan / Tongan family that they're all kind of a part of.
Yeah.
Which I thought about this later, and again, I wish it would have been fun to ask if, you know, and kind of tongue in cheek, but like, you know, would you be up for Rikishi and the Usos versus Haku and the Gorillas of Destiny now that everyone's kind of in WWE? But he kind of said himself, you know, he really can't go much anymore.
Yeah.
He leaves that to his sons, but great time, you know, great panel there.
He really did have a, how do I put this? Like as bluntly honest as he was never, I think, over the top with it like some people can be. It's just like, it's like, you know, if you're going to ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer.
Yeah.
He's not going to sugarcoat it at all. So it's like he was like, you know, brutally to the point of being overbearing and oh my god, you know, but no, he was a great. He can tell a story. Let me put it that way. Like when he was describing, like you said, the Hell in a Cell thing and everything like that, dude. that I was sitting there, even I was like just enthralled with how he was telling you, like, all right, I was like, because like you like you're falling back, you don't know where you're going, but I just like, we're up there, we're doing it, and like I really do. I think one of my favorite things about wrestling nowadays is like knowing the conversations that they have when we can't hear them, and like Taker telling him, "You don't have to do this." He's like, "No, let's do it." So I love the fact that Taker is that kind of guy. Is like saying, "Dude, if you don't want to do this, I won't throw you off there right now."
Yeah, like, hey, look, I get it, and Rikishi's like, "Nah, let's do this." I did leave one more thing out. Well, maybe two more things out from Friday. If you go to Countdown City WrestleCast on Instagram, there are two reels, I believe both from Friday. Apparently, if I leave Tommy alone or aren't close to him, and Callie and Tita is in the building, the two of them just start sniping at each other. And there are two. By the way, the reel where she's sitting down, like the first time y'all interact with each other, that's like well over 1,000 plays on our Instagram reel already. I don't know where it's at now. I'll go check it in a minute. But check that out on our Instagram reels. Tommy and Callie just going at it for like 30, 45 seconds. I don't even know what happened. I just walked up to this table where Hybrid was at, and they were already going at it. Any comments on that one?
She's a jerk. What more comments should I really make? Because again, I'm not 60.
That seems to be a real sticking point for you. I mean, she wished you a happy birthday. It was your birthday that Friday the 10th.
Yes.
And
I'm not 60.
She gave you a 5-minute cameo, although some info was misinterpreted. She thought your birthday was on Cinco de Mayo and thought that cameo came from me. We played that last week. If you go back and watch last week's show, and again, that's from Michael May, who's a friend of ours and a big Callie fan.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, and that's the other one. The second time, which was just later in the afternoon, they start going at it again, and the video, it is completely me going up with my camera, going wild and out, and kudos to Eliana, the ring announcer, who jumped in the middle, and she is great, and perfectly imitated the ref from the Wild and Out when they're going back. Yeah, doing the little thing back and forth, like, you out of here.
Yeah, the reason I know his name is not only because I watched Wild and Out forever. I was a fan of his before Wild and Out because he had a ton of YouTube videos that me and my family would watch. So I was so happy for him when he got Wild and Out, and him in that referee thing cracks me up every single time.
And she did it so well, going back and forth.
So funny. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think we can talk about it, but she deserves all the success that we know she's getting.
Yeah, 100%. She's doing great things.
Yeah.
But Friday was that first day. I think it was a decent crowd for a Friday at a con. But again,
by comparison, it was pretty good.
The wrestling really drew people in.
Yeah.
So that takes us to Saturday. There were 4 hybrid matches on Saturday. They kicked off, I believe, I don't remember the exact order, but I think they kicked off with Living in Fashion versus Rilo King and Jay Young.
Sorry, that was my
that's okay. In the NostalgiaCon multiverse section, and I don't know if this is also at hybrid, I'm trying to remember, but Rilo and Jay a little more heelish. We're definitely picking on the crowd and doing that thing with kids where they're like, high five, oh, no high five for you. But Living in Fashion, just awesome as always. Okay, this is from Angel. So there was another reel that Legacy of Nerd put up where he was trying to get word with Izzy and Callie kind of jumped in. Look, all right, that's fair, Angel.
That is
because when me and Callie were not in a truce and not on good terms like we are now, that is definitely the first thing we went to a lot and often. And Izzy did do that. Now, in all fairness, Callie has been going after Izzy pretty much since they both debuted. They kind of have the Rock Austin Trish Lita feud going on. So,
Yep.
but I completely understand why you sympathize. But yeah, there was another one. Legacy. Shout out to Legacy, who was running all over that place.
Yeah, he was.
All 3 days, just exhausted beyond anything. Because he really put a lot of stuff into this. Even though we know Hybrid, he's really the one that got the wrestling to NostalgiaCon and got that all set up. So kudos to him. He had the little video with Izzy and Callie, and I think as long as Callie's going to be a hater and a bully, and for what it's worth, Callie is really good at insulting people. Hence, Tommy being really pissed off at being constantly called 60 years old in his birthday wishes. But on the flip side, the first thing people are going to attack is the height, because she is in the shorter range. But
And like you said, just to remind everyone, she started it.
Well, both times, at least on the videos I got of you two, I just walked up and y'all were already going at it, so I don't know the origins.
She started it.
I'll take your word for it, Tommy. She's not here to defend herself, but I'll take your word for it.
I don't care if she was here or not. If she was here, I'd say it to her face. She started it. I did all weekend. I don't give a damn if she's here or not. Be here all she wants.
How far would you have to kneel down? Never mind. Anyways.
See, it ain't just me.
On Saturday, so Living in Fashion kept their titles versus Rilo King and Jay Young. Hell of a match too.
Yeah.
And we also pretty much filmed all the matches. I don't know how we're going to release those. If we're going to release those, we'll let y'all know in the coming weeks. But we have a lot of this footage. K-Jack versus Brandon Weiss, and shout out to Brandon Weiss because as him and Amanda were cosplaying all weekend, and that did not deter Brandon in the slightest from his wrestling matches. He pretty much wrestled both his matches in his cosplay, which was pretty great. Yeah, I mean that's pretty accurate, Jason.
Argue he wrestled more comfortably in his cosplay. Okay.
Yeah, he might have. But yeah, so I think he beat K-Jax. I honestly don't remember on that one.
Yes, he did, because he chased Vance Jackson out of the building until Vance snuck his way back in when he wasn't looking.
No, I think that's the next match.
No. K-Jax chased him.
Oh, okay.
Because then after the next match, we didn't see Vance the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, so after that, it was the 6-woman tag.
Oh no! After the match after this is when we didn't see Vance the rest of the weekend. That's right.
Right. Because the main event was the tag where he got.
That's right.
Dealt with. But the 6-woman tag was Callie, as we've been talking about, Ridley and Hysteria. I don't. There seems to be less Chola in them when they're at Hybrid than in RCW.
True.
I really like Hysteria's jacket. It was very reminiscent of
Harley Quinn.
From Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Not from like Suicide Squad or the other stuff. And they faced the trio of Izzy Moreno, Key Vibes, and GMSL. And as always, like those 6 just killed it. It was a great match. The Callie, Ridley, and Celine are newer compared to the other 3. I mean, I guess Izzy and Callie are about the same place, but every time they're going into matches, you see vast improvements. Ridley's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and Celine really hits her moves pretty crisply, and then Callie's Callie. Look, whatever y'all have between y'all two, I get that, and I'm trying to avoid that as much now, but she is good in the ring, and she does really well. Does she cheat sometimes?
Stop noticing the part. I didn't say she's a bad wrestler. That's never what I said. She's a terrible person.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
never said she couldn't wrestle. I never said that. I never insulted her wrestling ability not once, except for when she can't win a match, which case I'll go to town. But whatever, it's her as a person I can't stand.
Right.
Her as a wrestler is fine.
But they did, of course,
She's a lousy human being, is all. That's all.
They did, of course, fall short to Izzy, the Queen of Hybrid Key Vibes, and the Hybrid Women's Champion, Gia Michelle. And again, Kia and Gia, after their pretty storied rivalry for a while, really seem to be gelling well as a team together, and Izzy with them as well. So that's a very interesting dynamic they have there. And actually, I think coming up next weekend, there's a couple of them in a tag match we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
The main event, the battle for Texas, if you will, the Texas Treats versus the Texas Kingdom. And I know it's been a while, I think, since maybe RCW, where Vance has just straight up taken cash bribes. I went back to the footage. There does seem to be some cash exchanging hands in this match between J-Wave and Vance. We talked to him a little bit. He swears that Vance dropped the money and he was just returning it to him.
Well,
I'm not sure that's what the video shows.
Once I post my video, I can confidently say that's not what that shows. I was looking very closely, and the term payola don't even begin to describe it, because at least payola is done under the table.
Yeah. But a really good match, though. I mean,
oh yeah,
Diego, I think, may be one of the most underappreciated people there at Hybrid, even though he's an RCW champion. He is honestly, despite the fact that we're unsure of why he's a pirate in San Antonio, can go in the ring with pretty much anybody. The Kingdom, I mean, Rob Love is just always on with his character, and everyone loves Stash. It's hard not to love Stash when you see him. You see the Stash. A funny part at the beginning was when the Treats told the ref to check his stash, just like they checked the, he was like, "What am I going to hide in there?"
I got to give Diego credit for this, because he did a great job of making the crowd hate him before he even got in the ring, because he was messing with people and poking and prodding, and
he is really good.
He's really good at that. And this is so weird. I gotta give props to Rob Love. This is a very strange timeline I'm in right now, because Rob Love is impressive, because he has a habit his oh yeah, oh no. Of course, the normal crowd who knows him and knows how wrestling works knows how to do that. But the con goers didn't know how to do that. But caught it after a couple of times, because he just got them the cadence. They were just in. So that's to me, that's something special to make a crowd that doesn't even watch wrestling get into it like that.
Yeah. And do you wanna explain the ending and what?
Yeah. So suddenly Vance decided he wanted to attempt to look like a good ref, which we all know is not true. J-Wave tried to throw baby powder in the eyes of, I think it was Rob Love, and then Rob got out of the way and it hit Don Juan or Diego.
Hit Don Juan.
Hit Don Juan. Thank you. I thought so, but I thought I couldn't remember correctly. Yeah. But then
J-Wave. So he throws it and it hits Don Juan. They're about to go for the pin, and then J-Wave goes, "Look, Don Juan has powder on him." They threw it in his face, and having already recollected the money he supposedly lost, or maybe was literally handed in front of everybody by J-Wave, Vance decides to DQ the Texas Kingdom, assuming they threw the powder in Don Juan's face. The Texas Treats retreat from the ring, if you will. Vance was not so smart, because he stayed to count his money. And then what happened after that?
Well, but after that is the Texas Kingdom decided to get some good old-fashioned revenge. I wasn't going to stop them. And matter of fact, I was encouraging it. They attacked Vance, donated his money to the crowd, couple people left with a few extra dollars and they walked into the con with, and they proceeded to put Vance in the trash. And for those of you wondering, is that some kind of figure of speech? No. They went to a trash can, took the lid off, and dropped Vance inside.
Yeah.
To the point where me and a couple of other people had to tip the trash can over and pull it out.
And so when the Texas Treats pulled out the powder to throw at to Rob Love's face, and it wound up in Don Juan's, it was a literal like freezer bag Ziploc of powder. Before they threw him in the trash can after they attacked him, they kind of pulled him so his head was on the apron, kind of hanging out the ring. And they proceeded to dump the entire rest of the bag of powder in his face. Yes, and then Stud picked him up. They found a trash can, and we have a little promo from when we sponsored Casey at a hybrid show, where he literally goes, and look, Vance is with us, and points as a trash bag on the next to the ring, and then Vance winds up in a trash can.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
David, live shows are the best. And I don't know if you're from San Antonio or somewhere else, but if you could find local wrestling, go watch it, man. It is 100%.
If that's the David who I think it is, he's been to plenty of live shows with me. We've hung out quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
And I miss seeing him at live shows. So yeah, you need to. Yeah, I don't know where you're living at now, bro, but yeah, I need to see you at some live shows again, dude. And where you been? I miss you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, but Saturday was a great time. We both had to leave early for different reasons.
Yeah.
So we didn't stay for the entire set of match. Well, we stayed for all the matches.
We saw the matches. We just left almost right after they were done. So
yeah, we didn't stay for some of the other panels and con stuff.
Shout out to Eliana, who did cosplay pretty much the entire weekend, right along with Brandon Weiss.
Yeah. Okay, so then on Sunday, the final day,
countdown.
there were 4 matches. The first one, kind of changing up a little bit. The former Yoshi Bell, now Rolo Bell, kind of more. He said we talked to him a little bit too.
Yep.
So that should be coming out soon. He is not. He said the Samurai is kind of basically someone he wanted to be, but he realized he had to be himself. So Rolo Bell versus Don Juan, and Rolo Bell got the win. In fact, the liner you saw at the beginning of the show, if you've been with us from the beginning, is from after that match where Don Juan lost, and then apparently blamed us for having never brought him on Countdown City WrestleCast, which is technically not true. Back at the genesis of this show, when pre-COVID, when Tommy was always going to live shows, I had kind of stopped going to live shows as often. Our normal host, JC, did several interviews. One of them was with Don Juan. One was with Brendan Oliver. He did the first one with Angel Blue. Who's the guy who ran Heavy Metal? Dylan Dunbar?
Yeah.
He did one with Massive. I think he did one with Hernandez. Or maybe they just had him on.
Hernandez was at a con.
Okay, yeah, they were at but so Don Juan has been on the show, but it has been a while. This is true, and definitely not this version of Don Juan. But we hope to rectify that in the weeks and months to come. Second match, another debut on this weekend. Another person we talked to. This interview is already out, but Casey Blackrose had a match against the debuting Jesse Funaki, second-generation wrestler, son of Sho Funaki. And again, if you go to the YouTube channel, Countdown City Geeks, we have a short interview with him, which is technically his first official interview. So in a couple years when he's up at WWE being a superstar, we're going to be like, hey, we had his first interview. And we kind of joke about that too when we talk to him.
See, we know that guy. See, we know him. See?
And he is honestly the coolest guy.
He is.
Super nice. And can go in the ring. Like, no doubts about it. Has incredible athleticism. Beautiful drop kick.
Dude, oh, thank you for bringing that up because I meant to say that when we were talking to him and I forgot because we were just talking. But dude, he has one of the nicest drop kicks, dude, and I'm a fan of a good drop kick in wrestling, and his is nice.
It is, and he's got some athleticism. Give that man some time, some matches under his belt. He's gonna make a name for himself. Then we had what was the final? Was the final match? No, the final match was not when Ned's Declassified got involved.
No, that was the second to last match.
Right.
That was fun. Oh my god, that was fun too.
David Kidd versus Troy Markham.
Yeah, who by the way, is also another guy who's good at making the crowd hate him, as we're about to explain.
Yes, and Jason talking about Jesse. Yeah, you couldn't have looked better in a debut match.
No, you couldn't have. You really couldn't have.
Granted, you had a great opponent in Casey, but yeah, it was a hell of a debut. He's got a incredibly bright future.
Absolutely.
But back to Troy Markham, yes, easily makes people hate him. As we said, the ring was literally like there's a little bit of space, and then there was the line of some of the celebrity signers, and along that wall was I don't know much about the show, but at least 3 of the main characters from Ned's Declassified.
I from what I remember of the show, and that's one reason I didn't host the panel because I saw very little of it. Those were the 3 like core actors of the core protagonists of the show.
Right. They were the Zach Morris, the AC Slater, and Kelly Kapowski of their generation.
I love how people only of our generation understand that.
Yeah, exactly. So Troy, during the match, went and got them pissed off, and they decided to get involved, and everyone seemed okay with that. Oh, so there you go. It is indeed
3 kids. Wait a minute. Whoa. What did I miss?
How long ago did you see David?
Apparently some time ago. Oh my god.
Well, David, I'm probably going to be at the United 210 show. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be there is the only thing because I think am I working or something was going on Friday. I can't remember what it was. Every time I do the United 210 show, something's going on Friday. I'll see if I can make it.
If you see me, come say hi and tell me who you are because Tommy knows everybody and I'm slowly meeting everybody. So, yeah. But so Ned's Declassified got involved. Everyone seemed okay with it. They had a blast. And now, for all fairness, the match was announced as Playground Rules, which is, David Kidd's specialty. Troy should not have signed up for that.
He should not have.
And although we did not get plastic slides, we got Ned's Declassified. That almost rhymed.
Nice. Bars. Okay, Kendrick, I see you.
But yeah, I mean, David Kidd's always a blast. He's another one who so easily gets the crowd behind him because he's always having fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the final match was a triple threat.
Yeah, this is the main event, yeah.
Devin's 3rd match of the weekend, Diego's 2nd, Brandon's 2nd. For Diego's RCW International Championship, it was Devin Carter, Diego Renee, and Brandon Weiss.
And let me say this for a NostalgiaCon wrestling show. This was the most nostalgia-coniest of all the matches.
Yes, several cosplayers got involved. Wait, was this the match where Cobra Commander? Or was that the one before?
That was the day before.
Oh,
because it was the same. It was. Hold on, I got their names here because they're I follow them on Instagram. It's Ronan Cos Reza. I think they're husband and wife, if I'm not mistaken, or they're in a relationship of some kind. None of my business. But they were Cobra Commander Baroness day before. They were Cyclops and Phoenix.
Okay, that's right. But they got involved. You're right. It is the most. Okay, now I remember what happened because. God, now you literally just said the X-Men name, Cyclops. Jesus.
Cyclops, yeah.
Threatened his laser vision at Troy's at Diego several times, and then the Phoenix literally used her Phoenix Force powers. Who did she hit? Was it?
It was Diego.
Was it both times? Okay, yeah.
Well, Cobra Commander, who you can never trust, and who would have thought you can't trust Cobra Commander?
Right.
Helped Diego yesterday, but then Phoenix and Cyclops tried to help the good guys today. So
Yeah. Oh no, David! Like we don't got a flow to the show. We're just
we
talking,
we tend to go off the rails no matter what, so it doesn't really it's all good.
Yeah, I literally said if you didn't jump in at the beginning, we normally when JC's not here, we just kind of free flow because he runs our show. He sets the agenda. He keeps us on track. He does a great job.
Meanwhile, the two of us,
Yeah, we just kind of talk and wing it, kind of like I do everything in my life. But no, it was cool. And yeah, so she Phoenix Force choke slammed him. And then some other cosplayers got involved. J-Wave tried to get involved, and like Miles Morales and someone else pulled him down.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
It was Deadpool.
Okay, I have some slightly inside information. One of those people was definitely not supposed to get involved.
Oh, fun.
But everyone just kind of got involved, so yeah. And then some other. Brandon came out with a axolotl from Pokemon with a golden egg. Is that right?
Yes.
Or was it just,
I think
she used the golden. I don't know if it's from Pokemon, but it was an axolotl, and she got involved and hit Diego with the belt with a golden egg at 1.2.
Well, because that happened too, but then because 2019. Wow. Okay, I knew it was pre-pandemic last time I saw you. But I didn't know if I'd seen you since then, David. But okay.
Well, we know what he was doing during the pandemic, so kudos to him. Said 3 kids. I'm just saying.
So anyway, she hit Troy earlier in the night, and I forget who she hit at the show.
Oh, maybe it was, but there was a lot of con involvement on Sunday. Yeah, so there was that, but unfortunately, Diego did come out with the victory.
Yeah, he cheated.
Yeah, but he kept the belt, so and then he was making fun of people and making people take pictures with him. So but I
thought he was about to start charging, and he's like, "If you want to."
So before we kind of finish off with the con, I don't know if you have some other things to say. I do want to share. So I forgot to share the picture, but on one of the ideas. So okay, Legacy at Nerd, Kenobi's Bunker, they are great at working a table at cons. Okay, yeah. They are really good at getting people to sign up for their socials, getting new followers, having little contests to give away prizes, to entice people to their table. They are great at it.
Indeed.
Me and Tommy are not. This time we did have things to give away, and we didn't quite figure out a way to do that until Sunday. And then we kind of just gave some things away haphazardly. Also, I had come up with this idea where there are several hybrid wrestlers on Cameo, and I thought that everyone who signed up could write their name on a ticket. We do a little drawing, and the winner was supposed to win a cameo of their choice from one of 5 hybrid wrestlers, either Devin Carter, Casey Blackrose, Gia Michelle, Calientita, or Key Vibes. The thing is, we did not get one person to put their name on a ticket.
Yep.
We did get a few followers. We did get a few people. But here's the thing. We're already bad at that as it is. You put wrestlers that we know right next to us, and then a wrestling ring where they're having matches on the other side of that. The only reason we came back to our table was to sit down for 5 minutes because we were either filming the panels, watching the wrestling, filming the wrestling matches. Yeah. So, anyways,
basically, we need a non-wrestling fan to work our wrestling table while we're watching.
Yeah, wrestling. We really do. But here's the thing: I do feel kind of bad because I reached out to all 5 of them to let them know what we wanted to do, and they were like, "Hell yeah, that sounds cool." So I feel kind of bad that we don't actually have a winner of a contest to do this. So please pay attention to our Instagram later today or in the morning. I'm going to put up the graphic I made for the con. And basically, to any follower, if you comment on the Instagram post, I'll set a deadline. Then everyone who's in the comments will, I'll put in a little raffle. I think I'm gonna do one of those reels where you can enter people's name and then it spins it automatically.
Yeah.
And one of you guys will win the free cameo. So at least one of them will get a cameo. You choose Calientita. She's good at what she does. Depends on what you ask. But all of them are pretty cool. So we'll throw that out there.
Like I said, 4 out of 5 names on that list are okay.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are.
Have to.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's another con coming in June, and while there are like a heck of a lot of movie celebrities, I don't know if there's any wrestling at the moment. So might be a little bit better. I think we learned at the end, like by the time Sunday, like we kind of figured out a game. So we're working on it. We'll see how we do that.
We just gotta keep working.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about NostalgiaCon? Like, I mean, we can talk about it for a while, but
no, because I think we pretty much covered everything NostalgiaCon as far as the wrestling things go. Anything else, like as far as what I was doing, it's just just keep an eye out. Got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on to some local shows this weekend, starting with Fridays. United 210, No Man is an Island. So I don't know if I have the entire card, but I have a lot of info here for that. We have the 8th day, which will be in action, which is... Oh, I had their names the last time. But they're making it. It doesn't say who they're facing. It just says they will be in action with their return. We also have. Where'd it go? We have Zarek and Onyx, two of the Camacho from the Camacho family. If you're at the last United 210 shows, and Jason knows, Emmy brought out Angel. And the Camachos are apparently trying to do a little takeover at United 210. And apparently in the DFW area, there are many more Camachos.
I was going to say, because I don't even recognize those two names. And I thought I knew all the Camachos. Like how many of these guys are there?
No, there's apparently more to the family.
What the hell? It's like trying to figure out who all the Usos are. Jeez Louise.
In a title match at the last show, Casey Black Rose won the United 210 Heritage Championship, new championship that they unveiled. And he will be defending that title against Pac Ortega, who was in the triple threat last time. They were pretty cool. And then after the match, Pac attacked him. So that's a title match now. The RCW Phoenix Championship will be on the line at United 210 as champion Emmy Camacho of the Camacho family takes on Gia Michelle, the hybrid women's champion. So that's going to be a hell of a match because those two are really amazing. The Texas Kingdom, of course, since that is kind of their home turf, will be in action. Lil Evil continues to check names off his list. And that list, as it shows here, has Diego, Don Juan, and Teflon John. So not sure exactly which one he's going to be getting involved with, but he's looking after the treats and Teflon John. Also, Fly Def will be there making their actual United 210 debut.
Oh, snap.
And Tommy knows a lot about Fly Def, and they're a pretty impressive tag team. A lot of time in BOW. Are they still the champs? No, they're not. Are they the champs?
Culture Shock defeated them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
A couple shows ago. Yeah.
You're right. There was a triple threat match, Decimus versus Brick Savage versus Razco. Brick Savage is that name says it all. Like he is one wall of a man. So
he wrestled at BOW this past weekend, dude. He's scarier in person.
Yeah. And then apparently because he's now becoming maybe not the title collector, but the championship match collector, Angel Camacho has a match for the United 210 Heavyweight Championship against Teflon John, the Revelator. So the Puerto Rican Juggernaut has a title match there. And then the following weekend, he has an RCW title match, which we'll talk more about next week. So that looks to be all the matches there going on and all the people involved. So come on down. If you look up the address to the place for United 210 on Google Maps, you see a neighborhood. And we've talked about this before. That's because it is literally in Papa Stash's backyard. And it is in the middle of a neighborhood. You park on the street. There is a little kind of alleyway next to there with limited parking. But more than likely, you'll be parked on the street. But it was packed last time. It was a great show. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, the weather always seems to be the threat of rain when these shows come up. But so far, it has not rained during the show. After the show, I believe it, the one before last. So I'm just making sure there's no one else I see here. But no, that looks to be all the stuff going on for United 210. So that is Friday night. Gates open at 6:30, bell time at 7:30. $10 tickets, and that is 1003 Macaulay Avenue, San Antonio, Texas. Again, it is literally in the neighborhood on the street, so have fun there. And then on Saturday, Hybrid has its first of two shows, I guess 3 weekends of shows, actually, because they just had the NostalgiaCon that we spent a ton of time talking about.
Yep.
And then they're going to be not at the Hybrid School of Wrestling, but they're going to be at the Bakery Pub down in Lytle, Texas for the L-Town Throwdown.
Yep.
Now, I know this is going to shock people, but for some reason, the Texas Treats were at this little pub in Lytle, and the bar owner was telling them they needed to start, closing up shop. And the Treats didn't like that, and they attacked the bar owner. Diego being a dick. I know it's hard to imagine.
Say it ain't so.
I know, right? But the Flocking Brawlers, Casey Blackrose and Brandon Weiss, have decided to defend the honor of the bar owner and the pub there. So they will be taking on the Treats. And by the way, I forgot to say this earlier about NostalgiaCon. Shout out to Casey Blackrose, Brandon Weiss, because it really seemed like they were keeping things running during NostalgiaCon. They seemed to be making sure everyone was ready for matches. All the stuff was set up, the audio, all that stuff. And I know there's other people. I know Diego does a lot of stuff for them. And then, of course, when Don Juan shows up, he's obviously a big help to them. But shout out to them, again, like MVPs of that weekend.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not just for their matches and that, but, keeping Hybrid running. Again, it was a huge success. We've heard that through the grapevine, that NostalgiaCon loved them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get them to some of their other shows, because it was a big hit. Like we said, every day people stopped what they were doing, came over from booths, came over from the little shops, or the little stands or whatever, and we're watching.
And not only that, they were actively enjoying it. Like, it's one thing to just watch it, but like even some of the vendors who were nearby stopped selling. They took a break from selling stuff just to watch the matches happen. So
and it looks like we're going to have a rematch for the tag titles: Living in Fashion versus Jay Young and Rilo going on. An interesting tag match as Callie and Tita and Ridley Thorne team up versus Gia Michelle and Key Vibes. I'm sure Tommy would, can't wait to go see that match. Because as he will tell you, he likes 3 of the 4 people in that match. So I'm sure that's what he's going to say. I'm cool with all 4 of them. They're all
that's good for you.
They are all wrestlers.
That's good for you.
Can definitely be said about all 4 of them.
I can say all 4 wrestlers. I just only like 3 of the 4.
And then 2 guys who made their debuts last weekend have matches this weekend again. So first, Armani Sage versus David Kidd, which would be a pretty good match. And we talked really well about Jesse's debut, but Armani Sage, had literally the first match of the weekend as your debut.
And that's a hell of a thing to kick off. Like I know we talk about
Yeah.
Funaki, that's his first match, at a place like that, but that's a hell of a thing to do to kind of set the tone for that whole weekend.
Exactly, and set the tone of getting the crowd involved and getting them
Yeah.
excited for it. And again, I think we talk about this all the time, but that really goes to Marvel and Funaki and what they do there and how they train them. They don't let you go until they fully believe you're ready to go. So
Yeah.
if you're making your debut, if you're in the ring, then they think you are ready to get to that. So
I agree.
shout out to that. Jesse Funaki has I guess technically a second match versus Animo. Both of these seem like very face versus face matches, but
Yeah.
I think they're going to be great matches.
Yeah.
And then okay, the last match, K-Jax versus Jesse James. I don't want to go behind the curtain too much, but I actually got some time to talk to K-Jax before some stuff started on Friday, and I think it was Friday and Saturday. And I straight up told him that we didn't like him the first time we saw him because he did the giant swing, and I'm a big Claudio mark. And when he proceeded to do the giant swing in his match again. But him and Jesse James, Jesse came out with it's Naruto themed gear, right?
No, it was good. It was Dragon Ball Z because
Dragon Ball Z. There you go.
Because
Yeah,
it would have been Naruto if it was orange and black. His was very much orange and blue.
You're right. But this time came out with a mask.
Yeah.
Which actually honestly looked really cool. We don't. Angel, I assume it's going to be in the field, but I honestly don't know. I don't think they would stop down the street. I mean, yes, and it may go into the street. We have been at many shows where that has happened.
A wrestling show in San Antonio with a fight that goes to the street pretty much means just a show in San Antonio.
We don't know 100%. We have sources. We can find out and let you know.
The venue that used to be on Main, which is closed now, by the way, which sucks. That I used to have things probably fight outside all the time. I wonder if to this day people who drove by are just thinking, "What the hell?"
The venue had that. Mohawks had it all the time.
Dude, we were on the Mohawk. We were at the Mohawk. We were on that street so damn much. I'm surprised the cops didn't get called on a regular.
No, I don't believe you. The field is very small. Lisa looks. Yeah, I haven't been in Lido. Well, I used to drive through Lido fairly often because going down 35 for stuff, but I don't know. We'll find out, and we'll let you know. All right, we're all family. We're all pile into the small area wherever it is.
Oh my God! I met Jason David Frank at Stanley 11 years ago. Jesus, I'm getting old. Wow. Sorry, I that was bothering me when that was. Oh, you know who else I met that day was Lita. I forgot about that.
Was that the one? Was that the one here?
It was in Austin.
Okay.
Because there was Jason David Frank and Stan Lee were there.
Because maybe it was 2015.
Yeah, 2015. I think she was here.
Okay, because it was the Alamo City. So I met Lita. I was like, you talk about like you only knew one person there, especially at that time, having never met her, having been in love with her forever. I was like, I'm getting her, picture and autograph or what. I think we just got a picture. But I think I got her a picture Friday because like I got a 3-day pass. And then on that Saturday, I've told this story a lot of times, but we got there early. My wife and I, my wife at the time, we were there in line waiting. And we were just kind of talking with some of the other people in line or whatever. And we see these people walk by with this older person. We don't even really pay attention. And my wife goes, I think that's Stan Lee. And sure enough, they were just walking Stan Lee into the con.
Yeah.
And frail old 90-something-year-old man.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, and all of a sudden everyone turned and he was super nice and waved and said, hey, and I think he said Excelsior or whatever, like he does. And that was pretty cool. I think that was 2015 though. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 2015. Yeah.
All right. So the hybrid show though, the L-Town Throwdown, that is Saturday, May 18th, 7 p.m. at the Bakery Pub in Lido. That's 15126 Main Street. And yeah, we don't know exactly where it is, but head out there, and I'm sure we just follow the crowd. And the Texas Treats will probably have that big flag waving. So
Yeah, and if you're driving and you see them, just hit them with your car.
I mean, Tommy said it. I didn't say it's wrong, but I didn't say it.
Well, apparently I'm just an overly violent person, according to on a mission last night. So I don't know if you heard about that.
Wait, say it again. I'm sorry.
On a mission last night, apparently I'm an overly violent person, and I need to be watched at all times.
I mean, they had Morgan Mercy and Nova Phoenix on. If you're the violent person in that, I can't believe it.
All I said in my defense, all I said was, like they said for Nova Phoenix, they should have like a pyro just like Kane because like they're like the Undertaker and Kane, and Emily May said we'll have to check our pyro budget, and all I said in the chat was we have a pyro budget and we never said JP Harlow on fire.
Huh?
Well, I didn't say kill him. I didn't say kill him. I didn't say kill the Texas Streets. I said hit them with your car. That does not mean murder.
Yo, and look who we got in there now. Casey Black Rose. We were just talking about you a bunch because we were talking about Nostalgica and we're talking about the L-Town Throwdown.
Yeah. And I didn't say kill JP Harlow. I just said set him on fire.
I don't know. Tommy said he wished you would have done some actual work at Nostalgica, and that was really
really?
Wow. No, I'm just kidding. He did not say that at all. Wow. We did not say that, Casey. We were actually saying nothing but good things about you and all the stuff you were doing with Hybrid, for Hybrid, the matches. It's just like it's second nature for you to be mean to Callie. It really is second nature to just like throw you under the bus on stuff on the show, and I don't know why, but it kind of feels that way.
Well, to be fair, and that happens to me a lot, so it's not that surprising.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so that's the L-Town Throwdown in Lytle Saturday night. As we said, 7 o'clock there at the Bakery Pub, and I should be at both shows this weekend. We'll see if who else will be there.
I'm doing my best to be at both. We'll see. So I gotta see like how recovered I am from last weekend. Jeez, I'm still so tired.
Well, this is where having an agenda probably would help. You got anything else we need to cover?
No, not really. I think we'll be back next week with is something coming up next week?
Well, if nothing else, we get to preview the following weekend shows of Hybrid and RCW.
Yeah. So next week, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. Hold on. Next week we'll be covering Double or Nothing.
Gotcha.
Because that'll be the 26th of that following Sunday.
If you're new to the oh damn, I think Casey's kind of calling you out there.
I cannot stress enough how much you actually train. I cannot stress enough how much you actually do physical stuff on a regular. I am overweight and like Whataburger. We are not the same. Physically, you are much better than me. Hello, Legacy. That's like the first nice
shout out
thing
Legacy.
Ever said in our chat ever.
We were also saying good things about you and this weekend. Yes. If you just jumped in, the first hour was us talking about NostalgiaCon and the wrestling and how much fun we had. So shout out to you for that. But yeah, if we've got nothing else, I guess this is normally the time we would have our 1 minute warning. Except, as we said earlier, JC is the man who runs the show and has the little timer video for the 1 minute warning. So I guess I get to be the host. I get to do this. Tommy, do you have a 1 minute warning?
I actually don't. I say that's actually probably a good thing. Damn, Jason, I appreciate that. But I mean, it's true.
But he's not 60.
But I'm not 60.
So we're clear, despite what Callie said in the video and several times at NostalgiaCon.
To be fair, I mean, the only people I think at Hybrid who are older than me are the coaches, though. So, that's a fun thing to know.
That's 100% true, though.
It is.
But thank you, Angel.
Angel, I thought we were cool.
No, she's counting down for the
Oh,
1 minute
got it.
warning.
Okay, I kept thinking of the 60 thing, and Jason, I don't like the fact that you said, of course, he's not 60.
That was a coincidence that those numbers
That was a
matched up.
coincidence.
But no, she's counting down. For
okay, Angel, I take it back. You're cool. You're awesome. Okay, I got it now. I'm okay. See, I said I'm tired. I said that. I started this all saying I'm still tired.
I've got a 1 minute warning.
Yeah. No, you do. Or you don't?
I do.
Oh, you do. Okay.
And I've got a timer here, which I'm going to ignore because let's be honest, most of the time it goes way over a minute. Yeah. So. Not at all, Angel. You're cool. I know what you meant. Tommy's
it's all good, Angel.
Tommy's just a little sensitive about the 60.
Yeah, ignore me. I'm good.
Callie got into his head a bit. It's cool.
A little bit.
All right. So my 1 minute warning. I have talked a lot in this past year and a half about what going to these wrestling shows has meant for me. And it's been one of the most fun things in my life on a consistent basis. And for those of you who don't know, I've talked about it before. I am a teacher, a high school teacher. I won't say where, but some people know where. And this has been a particularly difficult year for various reasons. Some of it the classes I'm teaching, some of it the students I'm dealing with. But it's been really rough. But weekends like this past weekend is what has allowed me to get through and kind of survive this year. I think next year is looking a little bit better with some stuff. So, I'll let y'all know about that after the summer. But I have to tell you that it really feels like being in an alternate universe on these weekends, because I was at the con the most time, and then even Saturday night, we celebrated Mother's Day. And also, my younger sister is having her second child. We had like a little surprise shower for her just with our family. And that was super cool. So as I talked about before, being with my family and being at the wrestling shows, which is kind of like a new family there, or, a second family, I disassociate from my work life so bad. And so those Mondays when it's like wrestling hangover, because I'm like, oh God, I have to come back to the real world. Like, in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when they come back from Narnia after all that time, that's literally what it feels like sometimes. I'm like, oh man, I was just in this really cool world for a real long time. Now back to reality. So yeah, but this weekend was cool. Hanging out with all the people from Hybrid. Again, we talked about this earlier. We will never not sing the praises of Chris Marvel and Funaki and all the people that lead there at Hybrid, because they do such an amazing job of getting these people. And look, I'm sure these people who come in are good people to begin with, or at least they have that in them. But they are the nicest people. They come and shake our hands all the time. Yeah. Which I'm like, I'm just a fan, man. But like, thank you for that respect. Like, everyone comes up, and it's just a blast. And I had fun talking with people. Like I said, I got to talk to K-Jax for a little while before one of the shows. I feel like we saw a side of Casey that I don't know if you're still in there, Casey. I feel like we saw a side of you that we don't see very often. And I mean that in a good way. Like, I saw you having some fun when the music was playing. Also, I won't share some of the jokes he told. I don't know if you were there. I think Jason was there for a couple of them. Pretty good sense of humor. But overall, just a great weekend. I know you're not going to like this, but it was fun hanging out with Callie. It was fun hanging out with Ridley and Celine, Animo. Izzy was at our team. We didn't even really talk that much about Izzy being at our section for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Andrew up there too. Coming up.
Yeah. But just a blast overall. Just all kinds of great people. Don Juan, getting us involved with that little video toward the end. Was it?
But I was gonna say I was okay with most of the names on your list. You just
I
started off with the
know.
wrong, but most of the names were cool.
And I think I've kind of made this joke before, but I think it's the teacher in me that like wants to see the best in people. And again, she's really talented.
Okay,
Okay, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was gonna say, see, it's the best in you because you're a high school teacher. See, I work out of college. By that point, it's over. That's who they are, and they're not gonna change anymore. So,
But the thing is, I'm a high school teacher, and Callie could be mistaken for a middle schooler. I don't know. So,
but no, you're a high school teacher, so you're supposed to see that they could still be like one of the best people ever because they're just the kids now. They could get better.
Okay.
Well, I work at a community college and they're still right around that stage. I'm like, nope, that's who they are. They're a jerk. It's over. So,
Tommy, you are you love stories and stuff like that as much as anyone. Tell me there's not a redemption arc for Callie somewhere down the line.
well, I'll put it this way: if Doctor Doom could somehow become a good guy, then maybe she could too. So yeah.
I'm just saying, somewhere down the line, it's possible.
In Marvel Comics, even Doctor Doom redeemed himself. The Joker never
Exactly.
did, but take that for what you will. Well, before we go, I do want to shout out 3 cosplayers in particular. Well, 4, including Cassie Moon, but 3 in particular that I met at Retromania. That's Maddie Mason, Ali B, and Paradox. They were really cool at Retromania when I got to meet them there, and so they were at this convention as well. Hopefully, see them at really sooner rather than later down the line. All right, cool. I hope she's getting my book. You'll warm up one day. Maybe. I cheer Rob Lovett shows, so apparently anything can happen because that still feels like that still feels like at some point me and him switched personalities or something.
Also, in all fairness, Casey, you threatened me this year when I was actually picking on Callie at Rumble Royale at RCW. I was saying nice things to Callie at the time. Not. I was messing with her. And you came over and asked if you needed to hit me with a backbreaker. So I know you helped train her. I know you feel somewhat defensive for her. But let me tell you, as a Hispanic with 2 sisters, I will defend them, but I feel like most of the time I need to prevent them from hurting people because they don't take no from anybody. And I'm the calm, peaceful one in my family because my sisters are strong, intelligent, headstrong. They don't put up with sass from people. I'm like, oh, that's a bad idea. Don't do that, people. You're gonna okay. So I understand that, but she doesn't need it. She will kick us in the shins if she needs to. So.
Or that annoying screaming stomp thing that she does in the corner.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is hilarious when she does that.
It's like every time I'm like, oh, my ears again. It's her. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's end this awkwardly.
Sure.
I think.
All
right, guys.
That's how I got married. So
yeah. So, like Tommy said, we should be back next week. We will be previewing Double or Nothing. Also, as we said, previewing the 3rd weekend of a hybrid show, Jefe de Maya, and RCW's Memorial Day Miracle, one of the greatest show names I have ever heard. And Casey, I still think you need to get Keldon to get Sean Elliott at the show. If we're going to call it Memorial Day Miracle, don't forget that, please. All right. So for my partner in crime, we got this way. I forget I'm flipped. Tommy.
Hello. I can never point the right way. Bye, guys.
Yeah, and I am Big Mike. So remember, wrestling fans, as JC always says, pro wrestling is real. People are fake. All right, guys. See y'all later. Boom. Do, 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 do.